ready.
Back in studio. Jax is back from London.
I'm back, baby.
And has stories and artwork to share with us.
Yeah, I do. I was on an adventure. I didn't see the sun for 11 days.
I know, but so apparently it was that you just happened to be there. I mean, it's always rainy season in the British Isles, but it had been sunny, and then you got there and it rained the whole time.
It rained the entire time that I was in London, and then I went to Ireland for 5 days,
where it rains even more.
It rained even more, and it was cold. It was cold there, but I was like in like the farmland. I was in like rural Ireland, and it was because it's rainy, but at least it's beautiful. When it rains in Toronto, you're like, God, I'm looking at Young and Dundas and it's raining, you know? But there it's
what's
pretty.
a harder accent to understand? Rural Newfoundland or rural Ireland?
Newfoundland, I think.
Yeah.
Like when I was there, I was comforted because the pace in which people talk sounds like home.
Yeah,
sounds like Nova Scotia, so it's a lot faster. And I don't have as hard of a time understanding Irish accents. Like some of the really, really thick ones maybe, but they just sound like a deeper version of Cape Breton.
Right, because it's as Irish and Scottish immigrants that made it all up, right?
Yeah, but it was beautiful. I love Ireland. I love London. And I love you when I'm back.
We're so glad to have you back. So listen, the artwork you have, you bought a piece of artwork. Where did you buy it? Which IKEA?
So Adam, it's just in an IKEA frame, okay? Okay, so I went to Spitalfields Market, which is in Shoreditch in London, and it was like this big open air market. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I saw an artist, and I loved his work because I love things with faces that shouldn't have faces.
Right.
So look at this.
Oh, wow. Are those,
it's me and you. It's me and you. Look, yeah. Look, that's you and that's me. We're holding hands. We're holding hands, Adam.
Why did you get, okay, so these are two trees.
Yeah, holding hands.
Who aren't even really smiling. They look like surprised to be holding hands, and their hands are pom-poms. It's like they're branches.
They're clearly the shrub of the tree, yeah.
And Big Al was did you meet Big Al?
I did.
The person who signed their name on it?
He is the artist, and he was also selling his own art. So I got this, and I think that there's a bit of sexual tension between the trees.
You think so?
I think so. What do you
think?
To me,
it looks like they're lost and they're looking for directions.
I think they look a bit mischievous, and that reminds me of me and you. So I got it.
I love
beautiful,
it.
right?
I love it. No, it's
gorgeous.
Great.
Okay, so that's the art. That's the piece I bought.
Now, but people have been wondering, hey, where's Left on Red? And Left on Red is back today.
So
later
excited.
on the show. It's
so
about 20
excited.
minutes from now. So I just want you to know that it's happening. 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I don't know.
Time is a social construct.
But Jax, you have a story.
Yep.
Because you, Jax, were left on red. Come on.
I had it coming. I think karma
Why
is
did you
real.
have it coming?
Because we've been running a show segment called Ghosted or Left on Red for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we've been talking about other people getting ghosted so hard. One of us is bound to get ghosted. You're married.
Yep.
So you're not going to get ghosted, hopefully. Knock on wood.
I'm hoping not. Yeah.
But yeah, I was ghosted. I was left on red in London by a beautiful woman who I've never met.
So what happened?
Okay, so we were supposed to go on a date.
Sure.
One of the days that I was there, like earlier on in my trip, we're going to go for dinner and go out for dinner. And then she was cool. I was like, I'm going to be in town. Do you want to grab, a drink or some whatever with a random Canadian? And then she was like, absolutely. And she was saying, let's do dinner, do something fun where we can chill and get to know each other. And so we set up a dinner on one of the days. And then the day before we were supposed to go out, she messaged me and she's like, hey, I actually have to work. But are you free on the weekend?
So that's good manners.
That's very good manners. And she gave me a heads up. She apologized. Super sweet. Mm-hmm. And I gave you the heads up. And I was like, unfortunately, because I was, going to be going to a show and I had plans on the weekend with a friend who was in town in London. I was like, I can't. And obviously time is limited when you're on a trip. So I said, why don't we maybe if we can, before we recorded the podcast on the Sunday, let's go out. And we ended on that. We're like, if Sunday can work, Sunday works. She messages me the next day, the day that we were supposed to go out the Wednesday, and said, actually, long story short, I didn't have to work. So, I'm free now. Mm. And so I messaged and said, okay, cool. Let's go ahead with the original plan and go have dinner. And she never messaged me back. She just never, and I was like, and then because I reread it because I was like,
truly left on red.
I was literally left on red. or maybe she didn't. She's read it. But I was like, maybe did I misunderstand? Was she trying to say?
That's that. Yeah. I hate that.
And I was like, did I say something weird? And then I like went over it and over, and I was like, oh man. But she
said, do you want to go back out?
And she brought it back up, right? Yeah. We could have just left it. And so I was absolutely perplexed. And then I was like, well, it's got to be my fault. So I was looking over the message and to see, and I don't think I misunderstood anything.
No, it's not your fault.
And since then, she's like liked my posts and like. So I don't know what I did wrong, but she didn't want to hang out. She didn't want to hang out. And she's, you know what? She's beautiful and busy, it sounds like. So yeah.
And no, she likes your post though.
She liked my post, like about I posted this thing. Even I posted like about my trip, like a bunch of pictures.
See, I can't tell if this is someone who is like socially anxious and gets cold feet, or if this is someone that is so into the ghosting culture that it's like, because what it is that what I find really striking about the way you tell that story is your instant thought is it must have been something I did.
Yeah,
which
of course.
How could it? Stephanie's listening to this too. How could it possibly be something you did? But you were available. She changed the plan, and then you were unavailable.
Was
and
I
she's
too
like,
available?
actually, no, no, Jax, you're there for a week. What do you mean too available? Here's my day. This is my day. You get one day. And then she makes the thing, and then you're like, well, I better go back through and analyze the entire conversation to make sure that this was for sure me, because I definitely think it was. No, this is where single Jax is got to recognize single Jax's value.
I am, and I never followed up. Listen.
Well, no, and I'm glad you didn't.
I didn't follow up.
And let her like your shit. That's great. She should like it. She would have liked you even better if she met you. But my point is, and Steph, maybe you can back me up on this one, the fact that you even thought that this could somehow be your fault, right? The fact that you even thought at one point, well, maybe it was me, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to think.
Thank you.
You think it's a fair thing for her to think?
Yeah, I feel like I would have thought the same thing.
But don't you feel like that's what bothers me is like this person is doing it to you guys and you guys are blaming yourselves.
But Adam, I feel like the natural disposition of a man on dating apps or like dating in the world and a woman dating in the world is very different. Like you're like,
yeah, that's probably true.
Like, and because also how many stories have we heard of people on Left on Red who are like, you know, I've gone over it a ton of times in my head on what I could have done wrong and I can't understand. That's always their first thing. They're like, I've run through 1,000 scenarios in my head, and it's often a lot of like self-blame. But you know what? Not instantly, because obviously I thought it was my fault at first, but I quickly realized I was like, I don't know the answer to this, and I don't have the time to care. I don't have the time to care. You. And you know what? I think that I don't think it had. I think she's probably just busy, and I don't think it was that deep, and she seems lovely, and we don't live in the same part of the world, and maybe we'll cross paths one day, but if not, she seems lovely. So yeah.
Maybe she'll see this and then like give you an explanation.
Maybe she'll be like, I'm coming to Canada.
Listen, you're
doing that date. I want her to see this. I hope you see this. I hope you see this.
She seems lovely, and she's just very busy. So and that's okay.
You missed a good opportunity with a really good one.
That's very good. Adam pushed me to talk about this because he likes me vulnerable. No, and I like when you make me vulnerable.
This is a good story because people can relate to this, right? Like this happens all the time.
Even this tall, agile body gets ghosted. Okay, never forget.
Shocking as it is. By the way, you're gonna have so many people going, "I wouldn't ghost you" in the comments. Jax, I wouldn't ghost you.
Adam, I wouldn't ghost you.